Welcome back here to New Day Cleveland. Coyotes. There are a lot of misconceptions out there, so we're setting the record straight today. So welcome John Cepek from Cleveland Metroparks Wildlife. He is an ecologist there. It's good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
This is something that I think every year it's in the news. Something about a coyote, unfortunately, taking a pet, a family's pet, and their loved ones. But it's something that's serious, but also it's interesting and beautiful to see these creatures out in the wild too. So I guess we should start with them because there's a lot of ways to look at coyotes because they're beautiful creatures. But when people have these interactions with them throughout Northeast Ohio, are they common?
Coyotes are common. They're out there. They're among us. They're living with us, and they're common in our area. We find them across Ohio, and we find them across North America. The interesting thing is, because of the amount of food resources that people provide in our urban or suburban areas, we can see up to 5 times more coyotes in our urban suburban areas than we do in rural areas.
Have I been saying it wrong my whole life? It's a coyote, not a coyote.
Tomato.
Really?
Yeah,
okay, so you
really
can say it
is.
either.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
because I want to be corrected if I'm saying it wrong. But if you're looking at these pictures, they are gorgeous creatures.
Yeah.
They absolutely are. But now, when people do have an interaction with them, we'll start with just people before animals. If there's an interaction, you're faced with one of these creatures, what is best to do?
You really need to consider the circumstances. Where are you? What are you doing? Because they're out there, they're common, they learn to avoid us. So, this time of year, it's coyote mating season. So, we ask people to stay on trails. So they try to avoid us, and then if we go off trails and then all of a sudden we're in their territory, that could be viewed as a threat to them or their pups or their mate, especially if we've got a dog or we're letting our dog off leash.
So technically, and that would maybe be a myth, they're not just going to come attack you for no reason. It's more so when they feel threatened, like you're invading their space, their territory, where they might have
That's exactly correct.
Pups.
We really, the take-home information about this is to empower people on how much we influence their behavior. And, when we consider how rare these situations are compared to dog bites. Dog bites on humans are 16,000 a year in the state of Ohio on average. There's been one recorded bite from a coyote. Okay. It's very rare.
Is that a little baby one? Oh,
those are pups.
They're just so adorable. Now, when they do come face to face with your animal, say your dog, I've heard things of banging loudly or screaming will scare them away. Are those things true?
They are. If you see coyotes in your yard, they're usually there because we've provided them resources. We've got pet food on our back porch. They try to avoid us, but we provide these resources. So it's really, they're 32 to 37 pounds on average. They're not that large. Scare them away. Bang pans, yell. They don't want to be there. They're wary of us. Don't give them a reason to be close and try to scare them off. Don't let them get comfortable in your yard.
So you have an interesting kind of fact or fiction event happening coming up here this coming Wednesday?
Yeah. Yes. So we're doing a public talk about coyotes to help people learn, and it's February 6th, Wednesday at West Creek Reservation.
So there it is. It's free. So check that out. They're very interesting creatures, I'm sure. Have you ever had an encounter or an experience?
I have. I was on a trail and didn't know a coyote was on a ridge watching me, and that's what they do. And I happened to go off the trail to do a wildlife survey. Walked about 100 yards off trail, and it started barking at me to let me know that it wasn't comfortable I was there. When I was on the trail, it wasn't barking. When I was off the trail, it was barking.
So you just listen to them too. Listen to them and you'll be safe.
You really will.
Stay away. Thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah, thank you.
Learned a lot from you. I really appreciate it.